So I think everyone's feeling the pressure now. A lot of scouring for every little bit of crystals that you can get before the eventual Super Awakenings come to global. And at this point, War God Finn is like 2 to 3 weeks away, ladies and gentlemen. So with all of us kind of really looking out, trying to get as much done as possible, I thought now would be as good time as ever to kind of tell you all some last minute crystal grinds that you could possibly do so you can have as many crystals as you possibly can before War God Finn. First and foremost, you need to clear all the limited time events that are currently here. This includes the current Ninja Saga that is here. This includes any kind of giant boss or trial event that you have not done yet, because that also awards you crystals, and also the Fairy Tail event. Not to mention as well, because of the time you're recording this video, it has 5 days left. Whenever the video goes live, it should have 4 days left, and that will be the DOT, which does give you quite a bit of crystals too. If you clear all the limited time quests that are currently in the game, you'll probably be sitting pretty good for the most part in terms of crystals. You'll probably get to around like maybe 50, 100, or even more crystals, especially if you're a little bit newer to the game, since all this is just free real estate for you. If you really want to be on your P's and Q's, highly recommend that you actually do your daily missions, even though some people completely sleep on them. I am people, by the way. We just now got a new chapter of story, which means some of you guys may need to catch up on the story. For you guys that maybe have been sleeping on the story, haven't went any further than like chapter 5, or maybe Reyes' Awakening in chapter, was that 13, I think. It's time for you to catch up and do some of the story, man. There are so many crystals that you can get from the story, especially if you're full clearing every single time. And for the most part, it's pretty easy, especially if you have a pretty solid auto nuke team. And you can go through the entire story with ease. You really won't have to sweat too much unless you do those challenge fights where it gets a little bit difficult, but you can do most of them in co-op. So recommend doing that if you start struggling with any of them. Another thing to mention too, multiplayer rewards reset recently. I think it was a month ago at this point, maybe, that they reset, or a few weeks ago. And get in multiplayer if you haven't done it yet. There are tons of first time meet bonuses that you can get. That right there is the easiest, like 100 something crystals that you can get in the entire game. It doesn't matter if you join multiplayer, it doesn't matter if you host, as long as you're in co-op, you'll be fine. Another thing, since we're talking about co-op, multiplayer, all that, PvP, not real-time arena, but just regular arena, is another great spot to get a lot of crystals pretty quickly. If you start doing this right now to the eventual release of War God Finn, you'll probably be able to acquire quite a bit, especially if you've never done arena before. There are tons, and I really do mean tons of rewards to get climbing up each of the ranks. Now, once you get to Masters, unfortunately, there's no real reason to keep playing the game, unless you just want to go for like the crystal defeat rewards, which I do recommend that you get to at least maybe Optima Raid. But if you want to keep going past that point, you can absolutely keep going. But I'm just gonna say myself, after 1,000 victories, I feel like most people would be definitely done. Now, we do technically have one more maintenance before War God Finn, and the next maintenance should be Valerie. Now, with Valerie, there is a chance that we could get raids or mines, and if we do, I highly recommend that you go through that and complete it. And then if you need any more crystals, I'm talking about you're scraping what little bit of crystals that you can get left. Oh god, I don't even know if I can say it. The compendium rewards. I've made a video about this in the past, but I'll just quickly go through it right here. The way you'll do it is that you'll go to your side stories. You'll go to the Knights of Blood side story with Juno, Knights of Blood 0, episode 2. The first quest you do, which is called Night Stroll. It has 1 battle and it costs 1 energy. Put on 4 characters that you want to farm compendium rewards for. Make sure one of them has True Grand Destin on. Whenever you go in, make sure your auto settings are set like this. You have no skills on. Don't have the skills on. It will just delay it even longer. And make sure you have equips on. Whoever has True Grand Destin on will pop True Grand Destin or regular Grand Destin, doesn't matter which one. Kill the mobs. Boom, that's the end of the quest. You do this repeatedly until you acquire all of the crystal rewards from the compendium for these units. This is the most boring thing you could do in the entire game, but it is a way for you to get some crystals if you need it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is every bit of information I can give you in regards to saving for Super Awakenings, since they're literally right around the corner at this point. Of course, there was some obvious stuff that I didn't mention, like logging in. I mean, log in every day. Do I really have to say that? There's not much else to really say about this, except good luck to all of you that are grinding for these last little bit of crystals. The only other way for you to get some crystals right now, if you really want it that bad, get a job. Yep, I said it. I went there. I did. That's literally it. So, yeah, hopefully you all enjoy. That's going to be it for this one. Thank you all again for coming out. It's been your OP. And last but not least, you guys already know, don't forget to drink water.